This is Strike Pay, a short story written by D.H. Lawrence and read for you by Paul Metcalfe.
Strike Pay. Strike money is paid in the primitive Methodist chapel. The crier was round quite early on Wednesday morning to say that paying would begin at 10 o'clock. The primitive Methodist chapel is a big barn of a place, built, designed and paid for by the colliers themselves. But it threatened to fall down from its first form, so that a professional architect had to be hired at last to pull the place together. It stands in the square. 40 years ago, when Bryan and Wentworth opened their pits, they put up the squares of miners' dwellings. They are two great quadrangles of houses enclosing a barren stretch of ground littered with broken pots and rubbish, which forms a square, a great sloping lumpy playground for the children, a drying ground for many women's washing. Wednesday is still wash day with some women. As the men clustered round the chapel, they heard the thud, thud, thud of many pouches, women pounding away at the wash-tub with a wooden pestle. In the square the white clothes were waving in the wind from a maze of clotheslines, and here and there women were pegging out, calling to the miners or to the children, who dodged under the flapping sheets. Ben Townsend, the union agent, has a bad way of paying. He takes the men in order of his round and calls them by name. A big oratorical man with a grey beard, he sat at the table in the primitive schoolroom, calling name after name. The room was crowded with colliers, and a great group pushed up outside. There was much confusion. Ben dodged from the Scargill Street list to the Queen Street. For this Queen Street men were not prepared.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?